Tyler1, you know I need to use this computer, right? That you sitting directly on the table is in the way of what I'm doing. You know that, right? Hello, 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 hello. Happy 2020, everybody. Should I have done this video earlier? Probably. Better question, what are we doing? Because I figured, you know what would be cool? Is if we go through the social media platform that I've been on the longest, Facebook. We go through some of my old photos and I talk to you about maybe Tyler1. I know you're trapped in this room, but you don't need to eat the box. Where was I? Last photos of the last decade that I have on Facebook. So first we have this lovely photo, which is the oldest photo that I could find in the photos of you section on my personal Facebook. This photo was posted, when was this photo posted? October 12th, 2009. And I was in college. I was a freshman in college. For those of you who do not know, I was a competitive rower in college. First time I really got to race in a boat. And it was the last time I got to race in a boat. Because I injured myself. I was 19. I had just turned 19 in September. It was his first time not being at home, not living at home. I was dating a boy named Jared, who was riding his bike across the country at this point. So another photo of me that I can fast forward time a little bit. Ah! This is a good one. This is a good one. Ah, yes. Sophomore Mel. So you'll notice a couple of things. Thing one, I have darker hair. I have chopped all my hair off. And I'm no longer rowing. I'm also no longer dating that boy. May or may not have been why I chopped off all my hair and made my hair dark, but every girl has that breakup. But the funny thing about these series of photos, this is my friend James. I've known him since I was in 4th grade. This is Nick, my now husband. This was Halloween, which is why we're all dressed up, and like I'm dressed up as a Star Trek character and Nick is dressed up as Cowboy Bebop. This photo here was when my friend James and his then girlfriend were harassing us all the way back from the Halloween party to our dorm, telling me that I should get together with Nick because we were both tall. We should be together forever because we're both tall. Little did they know that I kept trying to drop hints and Nick wasn't picking them up. I kept trying to flirt with him and he wasn't getting it. So we had to wait a couple months. Wait, like, this was October, this was November, and this got posted. Wait till like December. Nick and I are dating now. This is me this is the first of the weird artistic selfies that Mel took with a timer on her phone. Hey, we're dating now. Ah, that's me and Peter. That's my nephew. He's 12 now. And that's Lauren, my niece. Look how cute she was. I don't know why I'm wearing the blazer. This is me enjoying bubbles. You see that? We're dating now. We dating now. This was March 2011. We're sitting on each other's laps. It's escalating quickly. This is my first beer. That was my first legal beverage. Purchased on the morning of my birthday. This is me on my 21st birthday. I wanted everybody to go with me to Red Lobster. So we went to Red Lobster. This is my Halloween costume. I was the Firefox logo. My majors in college were theater, communication arts. So a lot of weird theater pictures of me on the internet. So there's a period of time, and most of the photos you can find of me on my Facebook, I'm making weird faces like this because I don't know how to articulate this other than I've never had really great self-esteem. It's gonna sound like I'm fishing. I'm not. Never seen myself as like the pretty person or the attractive person. I've always been like weird, quirky, annoying, funny friend. I'm doing shit like this because it was just easier to be funny and be this than it was to like show that I cared about my appearance. I also probably didn't feel the greatest about myself physically. Like I thought I was fat. That's why you don't see a lot of photos of my entire body either. Look how cute we are. This is me in a video. This is me in a video book a movie that I tried to do for a long time, but never went anywhere because, you know, student projects. Probably one of the first cosplays I've ever done. It was a Halloween costume. A senior year of college. I had to get a headshot for something, so my friend took a photo of it. This is where we get into the weird theater stuff. This is a play I was in called Wojciech. This is my butt. In which I was a BDSM circus horse. This is a fake corpse that is filled with cake that tastes like peas. See? This is the cast. This is me in the back. Graduated from college. There's my mom and my two sisters. All right. We first moved to Los Angeles. Mr. Shifty Cloak and I, my husband and I, got a sublet for 3 months. Ended up living with the two guys we ended up subletting with. And then one of the guys got a dog, and her name was Zoe. And I loved that dog. This dog and I were like fucking peas in a pod. So dumb. She was the dumbest creature in the entire world. Would look in a mirror and bark at me because she didn't know who I was, and then I would say her name and she would turn around and get excited because I just came home. It was less than ideal. This is also a fun fact. When I tried to launch my YouTube channel for the first time, all of those videos have been privatized because nobody needs to see that. There's Zoe. Zoe has a hat. Such a great hat. This is me and Nick getting engaged. So when Nick and I got engaged, he didn't do the whole sit down on one knee and surprise me and propose because, like I just said, we were living in California. We didn't have a lot of cash. So there was no way he was going to be able to hide ring money from me. What we did instead is we surprised our family. So my oldest sister got to know, and she helped me organize his family and my family coming to my sister's house, where we surprised everybody by saying it was an engagement party. Congratulations, we're engaged. And then they told them all they couldn't post, they couldn't say anything, they couldn't take any photos, nothing. Because later that night, we were doing the same thing at a friend's house, except none of our friends knew, not even the host of that party knew. And we invited everybody over, hung out at their house, drank, waited until my friend James, who thought this was just a normal party, taped 2 40s to his hands, was all ready for Edward 40 hands, and then we told them we were engaged. And that's when this photo was taken. It was super duper special to me, obviously, because I got engaged and I got to finally say it to people, and I finally got to tell people. But the other thing that was super important to me is that my dad was present, because unfortunately between this and the wedding, my father ended up passing away. So my father never made it to the wedding. He knew Nick. He knew we were engaged. I believe I picked out a dress and showed him the photo of the dress. But that was it. That day is super awesome and celebratory in many ways because it was the day I got engaged and got to tell everybody. But the reason why I hold it so dear to me is because my dad was there and I got to tell him that I was engaged. Hey, there we are. There we are. We're engaged. Hey, I'm wearing a blazer again, but this time it makes sense. Yes. So when I used to work at Apple One, the staffing agency before I worked at Riot. So grateful on every day that I got to work with all of these lovely ladies. The ladies I worked with were amazing. The job I was doing I wasn't particularly fond of, which is why I left. This was the first time we went to BlizzCon. Hey, back in the day. Nick and his brother would play World of Warcraft constantly. We, for a very short period of time, had a guild called the After Hours Brigade, which is what we called our group of gaming friends. Jerseys at BlizzCon. This, unfortunately, is my father's funeral. Thanksgiving before my wedding. For, that potluck dinner, funeral's over, what do we do now? All the family's in town. Now you have to not only host a funeral for your father, but you also have to host a dinner. So that's what that was. This is my bachelorette on a much lighter note. This is my bachelorette. I got so sick this day, and not from alcohol. We sat down to dinner, and my stomach was so sick, I almost threw up. I did throw up in the bathroom. I remember now. I threw up so much. It had nothing in my stomach, so it was just dry heaving. I had coffee. I don't know what messed with my stomach, but something made me not feel great. And I just couldn't drink the rest of the night. I stayed completely sober my entire bachelorette and ran around with my drunk sister and my drunk friends and was the sober one. E3. Riding the big fat chocobo. My first anime expo. My first cosplay. Coming up quick. There it is. Sailor Moon, bitches. Everybody's Sailor Moon for their first cosplay. I remember I had the long tendrils, but they were so gnarled and so tangled and so all over the place that I just gave up on them and just didn't wear them. We got married. This was September 2016. Look at how cute we are. Then I immediately went to Worlds and wore my first League of Legends cosplay ever. Here we are at Cosplay Lab, where we invited a bunch of cosplayers to Riot. I was cast in Summoner Showcase at this point, but we hadn't launched the show yet, so I couldn't talk about it. And I was doing cosplay stuff and helping out with our cosplay community, even though it was not my job yet. I dye my hair pink, and I never go back. I have been dyeing my hair consistently crazy colors since 2017. Nick's parents brought us the cake topper they had in their freezer the whole time, so we get our 1-year anniversary cake. This is the current apartment that we are living in. Put on League Live and help out with all these amazing cosplayers and humans and artists, and I was just like overwhelmed and excited by all the chaos and fun that happened. Nar Meganar for the first time, you can see in there. And then about here is when the memes started to happen. Because you can tell I'm posting way less frequently on here, and I'm posting much more on like my personal pages or my professional pages and like my Instagram. But I'm still like posting some cosplay photos and some things. This was this year, KatsuCon. Let's see, beginning of the year and the end of the year. So that was my Facebook. That was the last 10 years of my life in Facebook photos. I didn't think I had changed that much in 10 years, but realistically I did. Like 10 years ago I was 19, just graduated from high school, was in my freshman year of college, was living away from home for the first time, like was experiencing like, I think such dramatic like eye-opening change of like who I was, my life, what my life had been. And then, even then, after I left college and moved to California, that was a whole nother, like, well, now I'm 2,000 a mile away from every single sports structure I've ever had. And, like, I don't have any friends, and I don't know anything about anything, and now I need to figure this shit out. And then, fast forward again, like, to working at Riot. There's so many big pivot milestones in my life that I guess I just didn't take the time to think back on. The whole thing about New Year's is looking backwards so you can look forward, right? Next 10 years from now, I will 39. I will be a boomer. I'm already a boomer. I don't know what to expect in the next 10 years, to be honest. So you could not have told me what life that I'd be living now. So I don't want to even try to speculate the life I'll be living in the next 10 years. Thanks for coming and hanging out. It was at least interesting to you and not boring, but you got to see some really prime good Mel faces. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment and whatever the YouTubers tell you to do. And I will see you all next time. Bye. Tell us all about it. What are you upset about? Yeah, am I holding you? Do you not like it? Oh.